I'm just gonna apologize in advance for if I cough. I've been putting off filming this video hoping that in fact I would not still sound like this. But happy Friday. So I have a code of conduct violation, which basically states that I have to conduct myself in a professional manner when on social media, which
you did.
I always feel like I try to do, and that I don't want to be a role model, but I want to grow the sport. And so I feel like that always in the back of my mind is, what am I doing that is helping to grow the sport, which obviously has to be done in a professional manner. Along with this, it's you do not criticize other athletes. You do not criticize the proprietors. You do not criticize the organization that we are grateful to have our tour for, which I do want to state that I am grateful for the tour that I get to bowl on, which is why I do bowl 95% of the tour. Besides when I was hurt last year, for those of you who are now just joining our YouTube, I have been dealing with some injuries in the past couple years, so I have missed for that. But other than that, then now this year, I have been dealing with some personal issues and health issues that has not allowed me to bowl tour. But I have made it out to every regional that I can that work allows me to. So in that, I will say that I would never do anything to criticize the proprietor, the Lane Machines, the organization that has given me this opportunity to compete at the highest level. I did work for Kegel. I have worked for USBC myself. So I hold those organizations dear to my heart, because without those, we would not be able to do what we do. I would not be here on this channel speaking to you guys. You guys will be seeing this on Friday. Like I said, I gave up on trying to wait for my voice to come back before I film this, but here I am, not in Michigan because of my current state of I don't know what's going on, but I am coughing all night. It's been going on for a week. I've been taking medicine and stuff. I feel like, well, physically, I guess you could say. My throat, oh my God. Yeah, like my body feels great for the most part, other than getting some migraines, but I think that's just because I've been so congested and coughing like 24/7. I wanted to bring this video to you. I feel like it's really important to talk about. This video has been up for, I don't know, about a week or so now, probably a little bit over that. Anyway, so in that video, I did a little vlog about my first round of qualifying. As I always do, me and Nate on this channel, as everyone knows, we always kind of try to give some fun stuff that we're doing on our trips, insight to how the lane play is, talk about what's going on. And I did just that. We had some funny roommate things that happened and some bowling. And then I talked about at the end what everyone was talking about, just as I normally would. I do want to start off with, obviously, the reason why me and Nate do this channel is to promote bowling. We love bowling. We're both on our respective tours. We do everything we can, obviously as college coaches, to promote bowling to the next athletes that want to get involved, because we've been so lucky to have gotten so much out of this industry, and we love it and we're passionate about it, and we're very lucky to do what we love every single day. That is why we have this channel. It is not for anything other than the fact that this is what we do, this is what we love, and we want to promote our tours, college bowling, whatever it may be that someone's goals are when it comes to our industry. I looked it up, and as far as I know, from everything I read, I'm allowed to talk about this. There's no rule saying that I cannot speak about the fact that I did get fined for the things that I said in that video. Now, I do want to say that I had a long conversation with Nate and my roommates talking about if I did talk about it, like I wanted to be very careful about the things I said, because I did not want to get fined or feel as if I was shedding some dark light on what had happened during Queens.
You went out of your way to provide information, and you did it in such a professional way that didn't criticize anybody. You gave everyone information that had happened, factual information, and nothing was taking away or making any organization person look bad. You just specifically explained what had happened, and that we can move on as an industry, as athletes, as professionals, and hope that this doesn't happen again.
I purposely chose my words because I wanted to let people that have not bowled a tour stop, that don't know the rules, that at the end of the day, it comes down to the people that started on that pair. Again, I still do not know who they are. I didn't look because that stuff is irrelevant to the whole reason of why I talked about what I did in that vlog. And that's that people were saying that, you know, there's something that should have been done. But at the end of the day, if the bowlers did not say something, in comparison, if I'm bowling on a lane, this could be any tournament. If the approach is tacky and I can't slide and it's preventing me from competing, I would, in practice, go up to the tournament director and tell them, hey, I'm having a problem. Like, can we get some extra practice? Can we make sure, you know, or we start the kind of get everyone to stop? Which I have had these instances where something has happened during practice and everyone has had to stop. We restart. We even had an event that we literally started. We started the first couple frames, and then we actually had to restart the frames because something was happening that was going to cause so much time. It's not something that is specific to tour, but it happens all the time. My point was that, you know, everything had happened. The whole squad was done bowling. At that point, there's nothing. It doesn't matter what tournament director it is. There's nothing that we can do. All we can do is move forward from it. We do have access to ball reps. And I'm sure that the ball reps, you know, anyone who was in the back, everyone was made aware of the situation going into that lane. Just as topography plays a part in how we transition lane to lane, this is the same thing. Yes, it's unfortunate that there is not oil on one lane that is the same as all the rest, but that does happen even when there is not an issue with the lane machine where topography, whatever, plays a part in hitting a bad pair. It doesn't have to be something that happened with the lane machine. It happens all the time. It could be just because a lane is close to the door, or because of the temperature, or if you bowled in the morning, or if you bowled late at night. It's kind of the same thing with like squat inequity. It's literally the same thing, and it is unfortunate because not everyone hits that pair. But my point in that vlog was to just give some insight to, if you are in that situation, you know, there's only so much you can do. And if if the people that started on that pair, they already kind of know, especially with that much time in practice, they should have been adjusted. And then especially on tour with our ball reps and everything, people watching, I feel as though, I know, like I said, I didn't struggle on that pair as much as some may have. Obviously, I didn't bowl in the burn, so I can't speak for that. The burn was probably a little bit more difficult. But bowling on the fresh on it, I had to play a different part of the lane, which comes apart with being a professional, and you have to be able to adjust. And that was kind of the point of my vlog, was just giving insight to that. It's unfortunate that I got fined for this because I was not aware that we were not allowed to talk about lane play. But I can't say that I think that is the reason I got fined, because we talk about lane play all the time. A bunch of girls post about their lane play. They talk about their day. I've done it in past vlogs for regionals. This is my first time doing it for the national tour, but I have talked about plenty of regionals that I've bowled and been a part of, and talked about what happened during my day. Which brings me to my last point, is that I have done nothing but support the PWBA and my journey on it, and I would love for all the women that are coming up from high school and college to have the same opportunities and get to bowl on tour. So having this tour is important, but I do think it's also important that, you know, we talk about what is going on. It doesn't have to be in a bad light, but I think it's important that we are very clear, all of us, with our intentions when we are presented on social media and what is going on in our industry, because that's what happens in every industry. We need to be transparent and work together to create, this industry that we can all thrive in at all levels. And that is the point of why we are on here, on YouTube, is to come together as a community and build this sport up to a bigger audience. Hopefully I can get this resolved and appeal, being fine, because I don't want to feel like on this channel that I can't tell you guys what's going on in my life. Especially, I want to share what I'm doing on tour, and I know Nate loves sharing that, because we want those people that, don't get to go out on tour, or, are just fans that don't have the opportunity to go on tour, but they want to know what it's like to be out on tour. I think that's super important.
I think it's important too that, everybody has a voice, and as long as we're using that for good, for teaching, for empowerment, for all the positives that are in this, world, in this community that we have of bowling, nobody can take away your freedom of speech. And these women are out here working very hard, and sometimes I feel that they're silenced, and they shouldn't be. I don't care who's running what. I don't care, who's in charge of what. If these women are working their asses off and they are bringing their voices to the table to bring attention in a positive light, that I think that they should be heard and they should be taken just as seriously. I know for the PBA tour, sometimes there is a constant, struggle back and forth with the players and the future of the PBA and, all of that. And maybe you guys don't get to see that. And I'm not here to talk on those issues, but I think that the voices of the athletes should be heard, because they're just as important. And, without the athletes, there is no women's tour. Without the athletes, there's no men's tour. And if we can come together and support each other, like I said, in a positive way, that's the only way that things can change.
Things happen. It's no one's fault. And that was what I wanted to say. And maybe I didn't get that across properly. But, for those that do watch at home when things are going on, do understand that running a tournament is not easy. I run tournaments. Things happen. I've had lane problems. The lanes don't, you have to move lanes or whatever. Like, things like that do happen. It is unfortunate when it happens at a higher level, but we're in the same bowling centers that you bowl league in. The same centers that have, problems, and that's normal. That's why there's a mechanic. It's like a car, they're not going to always run properly. A machine is not human for a reason. It's a computer. It's no one to blame. And that was the point of my vlog, that I was just sharing my experience, what happened. And yeah, I just hope that everyone can see and feel as though they can talk about what is going on in our industry. And that is the most important thing that we can do to get to where we want to be in the future in the sport.